Our next venture is to discover why the disciples' message was so contentious. In our 3 previous chapters, we evaluated their unusual behavior, ruled out incompatible theories, and validated their historical accuracy. But why was the message of the gospel so contentious? Overall, the news of a man returning to life should not have that much of an impact on society. In the Jewish community, resurrection is not an unknown phenomenon. There are 2 instances in which people throughout the ancient texts of the Old Testament have experienced resurrection. However, the Jewish authorities were adamant that the message of the resurrection was a cancer to society. Here are 5 reasons why. It was a direct challenge to Roman authority. If Jesus is Lord, then Caesar cannot also be Lord. The emperor was often regarded as a semi-divine figure in the Roman Empire, and loyalty to the emperor was paramount. The disciples preached that Jesus was Lord, implying that he had greater authority than Caesar. It was also a threat to the religious establishment. For the Jewish religious leaders, the Pharisees, Sadducees, and the Sanhedrin, the message of Jesus' resurrection was deeply threatening to their power and authority. If Jesus had indeed risen from the dead, it would vindicate his claim to be the Son of God and the Messiah, thereby proving the religious leaders wrong. Next, it disrupted social order. The disciples preached a radical message of equality in Christ. According to Paul, in the Christian community, there was neither Jew nor Gentile, slave nor free, male nor female. This implies that no matter your status, your race, your class, or your rank, everyone is equal in Christ. Continuing, it was a perceived threat to economic interests. The spread of Christianity also had economic implications. In cities like Ephesus, where the worship of gods like Artemis was a significant economic driver. In Acts 19, a riot broke out in Ephesus because the silversmiths who made shrines of the goddess Artemis were losing business due to Paul's preaching that gods made by human hands are no gods at all. The rise of Christianity threatened entire industries connected to pagan worship. The resurrection's challenge to death itself. The resurrection of Jesus was more than just a spiritual claim. It was an assertion that Jesus had defeated death, something no human or empire could control. In the Roman world, where fear of death and violence was often used to maintain control through crucifixions, executions, and gladiatorial games. Jesus' resurrection introduced the idea that death no longer had the final say. The message of the disciples, particularly the resurrection of Jesus, was viewed as toxic and dangerous by both Jewish and Roman authorities for several reasons. It challenged the religious authority of the Jewish leaders, undermined the divinity and political authority of the Roman emperor, threatened the social and economic order, and subverted the deeply ingrained pagan religious system. Furthermore, the resurrection gave early Christians a boldness in the face of death that undermined one of the critical tools of control in ancient societies, fear of death. Ultimately, the radical and transformative nature of the disciples' message created widespread opposition, persecution, and tension within the Roman Empire. Even today, some consider Christianity as too rigid and a disruption in the social order. Throughout the world, Christians are the most persecuted group for the same reasons as the apostles. In America, Christianity has been a dominant force, but as that force weakens, others see Christianity as something that may be in the way of a greater purpose. To the Christian, you must conclusively ask yourself this question: if it came down to life and death, am I willing to follow the disciples' path? Answer confidently,